One of the first comments on the first video I posted on this series was, I thought you didn't like Japan motors. And I had commented that I didn't like the ones that weren't cool. But in general, I did like them. So, just wanted to show something here. This is why I don't normally like Japan motors. So as I was looking in here, I noticed the bottom of that bore didn't look so good. So you can see the scarring there. And I ran my finger on it, and it's pretty raised right in this side here. Definitely not ideal, and that's cylinder 1. All the other cylinders, there's no scuffing, but this one, let's see if I can get the light in there. You can see all that scuffing on the bottom. More than likely that's a broken ringland, and it's probably the width of that scuffing. So from there to there is when we pull this piston out, we're going to see that. You know, I hadn't planned on building this motor, but now we're building this motor. It's pretty much a bare block now at this point. I know before I said it's a bare block, but it wasn't actually a bare block. So I'm going to pull this, and then we're going to rotate the crank a little bit and get the wrist pin lined up, and then pop the wrist pin out, and then out should come the piston. And that's how that works. I'll actually probably flip the motor over so I can push it out from the bottom where the oil pan goes. So here we go. Here we go with 14 millimeter. Let's see, I don't know that this is going to get this out or not. We might have to again go get a real air gun here. Oh, that was pretty easy. That was much easier than I had anticipated. Oops, I dropped the crush washer. Alright, so piston's already lined up, which is pretty cool. So now we just basically reach in here, and we're just trying to grab this little guy here. Got him. That's a wrist pin keeper. And then I don't think I'm going to have a magnet strong enough. And I don't have... God, those wrist pins are tiny. No, I don't have a magnet strong enough. Let me see if I have some kind of a hook tool with a little itty bitty burr on the end. I think it's this one. Yep. Let's see if this little guy will work here. Let's see if we can pull that. I don't really know how far in it. Seems like that's too far. I'm going to have to go borrow a tool from the engine builder, it looks like, to be able to get that out. He's got a special hook tool that'll get that out. So I'm going to get that wrist pin out and pull this piston. We got the motor on the ground because it's been a bad motor. Bad motor. Probably don't need this big of a hammer, but what I want to show you is this is called an impact screwdriver. And what it does, these screws here, you'll never ever get off with a regular screwdriver. And, well, you might, but more than likely you'll strip one or two of them out along the process. So what you do is you use these impact guys, you just kind of push it down, which loads it up, support your engine with your knee or something, and then you hit it. They're super on there. There it goes. So see, it broke loose, and now it just comes right out. So it's basically an impact screwdriver. They're pretty trick until the tip breaks off, which probably will happen because this one's not particularly expensive, but we'll see. And gonna go like that until all of these are off, as well as these ones over here. Simple as that. So I got all of them off, and now we just take this and just pop that off. Comes right out, a little bit of silicone. Same with this one, should just pop right off. And these are what help us access the wrist pins. I've got another one of these 14s I'm going to have to take off. So I'm going to go get my 14 Allen and zip that guy out, and then we'll be able to get the wrist pin out. Turns out on these have a lightweight wrist pin, which was unique to some of the 207s, maybe all of them. And because of that, you can't pull the wrist pin out, you have to push it from the other side. So that's what we're about to do. So I'm told this big rod is the tool to use to get through here. Now I've got it, the engine rotated just so that it can pass through. I'm just going to give it a couple little taps here, see if it starts to feel on the other end. I feel the wrist pin coming out, but I don't know if I'm quite in the right spot because the wrist pin is now hitting the hole. So how do you do this? See if I can rotate it around enough. I'm not an engine builder. This is not a normal thing for me to do. All right, that looks like the wrist pin might come out now. Let's try. Oh, it's coming out. I'll move the camera so we can maybe watch it on this side. Now, let's see here. Put my box too close. Let's see if we can see this. Let's see if I can do this here. All right, that's it right there. That's what we're watching for to come through. Gotta kind of put tension on the motor. Necessary for this procedure, but maybe now it's just super stuck. There it goes. All right. So this is a wrist pin. The reason why it's so hard to get out is because it's tapered on the inside, so it doesn't. Normally a wrist pin is the same diameter all the way through, but what they did to make it lighter is they machined it like a cone. Normally you can just stick a hook through it and grab the other side, but because of that cone shape you couldn't. So wrist pin's out. Now we're gonna get the rod out. See if we can get the rod out. Once the rod comes out, we should be able to just pop that piston out. All right, rod's out. Now, let's turn this guy. I kind of like this vantage point. Let's see, there we go. So this is Mr. Bad Boy that we're trying to take out right now. So let's turn the motor and see if we can get it to come out. Now what's going to happen is the rod's going to go all the way back. See, the piston stayed because the rod's not attached anymore, and maybe it'll help push it just a little bit further. Nope, it's not going to. So instead, I need to try to get something in there, like my finger. Big fingers. Almost enough. Let me see if I can find something shaped a little bit funny that'll push on that without damaging anything. Is this gonna work? Nope. I believe I've seen people use some kind of a flexible thing in the past, and I just so happen to have a magnet that's flexible. Let's see if this will, we can fish that in there enough to get it to push on out. Well, it's coming a little bit. I think one of our older engine builders had like a fish tape that worked pretty well. It's a little bit stronger than this. You don't want to pry anything. Probably could get it from, let's try this. Yeah, let's see if we can fish something up in there now. Well, maybe not. Don't know. That silver wall's already jacked, so that's not gonna work. Man. Super duper close. So if we do this without damaging anything. Yeah, there we go. That's the ring. It's not going back in, so not to worry about it. All right, piston is out. There we go. Here is why we pulled this guy. Let me see if I can get this up into the light a little bit better. That is not a good piston. Surprisingly, the ring land is good, but you can see that piston is toast. So I don't know what happened here. This would just be too much heat. Oh, the ring is stuck. So right there, the ring is stuck, which means the piston deformed, which means it knocked on this cylinder. And because this is a forged piston from the factory, instead of cracking a ring land, it just got stuck. I figured since some little Japanese guy screwed me on that motor, I'm going to eat their food and appropriate their culture. Yum. So, like I said, these are pretty cool pistons, factory forged. But even with forged pistons, if you don't tune it right, it's not going to work. So that is the fate of my brand new motor, new to me at least. 0 miles that I've driven on it. This is now my record. Never broken a Subaru I've never even driven. So we're going to put some pistons in it, probably put some rods in it, because why not while it's torn apart, and then also put some bearings in it, because again, why not while it's torn apart. This would have had good compression, more than likely, which is why they sell it to you and say, oh, it's a good motor, but this would have smoked like crazy and would not have been long for this world. Definitely wouldn't have even made it off the dyno. And then I would have thought I did something wrong, but in reality, that's how it came. That's it for this video. I guess we're about as far down the rabbit hole as we can go now, so we should probably start clawing our way back out. Definitely further down the rabbit hole than intended, but that's the way these things work. If you like this video, if you learned something, or if you just want to see what's next, like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more. It'll probably be a few days before the next video, just because I got to get this block down to the machine shop with the parts, which fortunately I work at a shop that has all of those parts in stock, and we can hopefully have the turnaround on this pretty quick, get it back together. The goal is to have this thing running by spring, so the sooner I can get it to the machine shop, the better. Thanks for watching.